So like we said, we are a couple weeks behind, but Michigan State did make a football hire, which was a big deal. So they hired Mel Tucker, who was Colorado's head coach. I think it was our last episode. I mentioned him as one of the guys that pulled his name out of the hat.
Yeah.
For the running of the.
That was the report.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, and then literally, I think it was like it was like midnight. Yeah. So we recorded 2 weeks ago today on a Tuesday, and then it came out. I think before I was even in bed, they mentioned it.
It was the worst timing you could possibly have. It's like right when you clicked, submitting, or I don't even know how you do it, but yeah.
I don't understand how they didn't even
post
ask
the
us
episode
about when we were recording. They should be asking us when.
They should have at least texted.
They should have told me, and I could have broke some news. Like it would be a big, exactly.
On the line with us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Man, it would have been really cool, but all in all, it's probably better off that we were done recording, because I would have been like, "All right, guys, sorry, we got to scrap that episode. We got to start over."
He would have kept going on about the Red Wings.
I would have
been there even longer.
Yeah, exactly. You guys fell asleep last episode when I was talking Red Wings.
PS4 while you played.
All right, so like I said, originally took his name out of the hat, but eventually he received a 6-year, $5.5 annual salary, which is over $1 million more than Dantonio was getting, with his at $4.3 million annually. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All in all, it's a solid hire, right? I mean, I think Luke Fickell was probably the dream, the guy that you truly wanted, but this guy's not far down that list.
I don't think so. No,
right?
No, I agree.
I mean, look, I don't know much about Colorado football. I don't know the ups and downs. I don't know much about this guy, but the fact that he was...
Wasn't he only there 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's committed to them, though.
Yeah,
I hope he's more committed to us.
From the sounds of it, it sounds like a good hire.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's something to be excited about. Some would say that they may have overpaid.
I don't think that's possible.
And that's kind of what I was going to get into. Yeah. So why do you think that's not possible?
It's only overpaid if somebody doesn't work out, or if they're a bad coach, or they don't live up to it.
That's what
You have to pay to get the right guy in there. If he wins games, that salary means nothing to the program.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing. You get an excited fan base, and you make that up immediately.
No, I completely agree. And you're only overpaying for some, if you're paying for something that nobody else wants, that's really the biggest thing. I mean, if you think he's worth it, you're not overpaying for it.
No. And you have a little bit of the thing too, where it's like, okay, he's the last one to sign.
Yeah.
So, when they what was it 2 summers ago, they re-signed Matthew Stafford, and they're like, oh my, could you
he's
believe
the highest
paid player in the NFL.
Yeah.
4 minutes later, he's not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
he's on a bargain.
The same, but
no, I get what you're saying though. And look, I think a college football is something to quote unquote overpay for.
That's
what you should always that's what every athletic department should be overpaying for. He should always be your highest paid employee in an athletic department, in my opinion.
I mean, you have some of the Big Ten coaches on here listed out, and I mean Jeff Brom is making $6.6 million. You have Pat Fitzgerald making $5.14. This is what a program in the Big Ten is expected to pay their head coach.
Yeah,
this falls right in line where it should, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, you got Jim Harbaugh at 7.5, like you already said. Jeff Brom at 6.6. Penn State, James Franklin 5.65. I mean, he's going to fall right in line. I mean, I just saw that Ryan Day got an extension. I didn't see what he got paid, but I'm sure it's going to be probably more.
Yeah.
But this is good for Michigan State, and I'm not saying you were underpaying Dantonio, but what you're doing as Michigan State is you're saying, look, Dantonio proved that we can win when we put our mind to it, when we bring in the right guys, when we're focused on building the program. So invest in it. That's what will make your other athletics grow, is a solid football team. It brings in the revenue that no one else can.
And I think it's worth bringing up that if the reports were that Mel Tucker was not going to come to MSU, and then suddenly he just signs out of nowhere and he has this nice salary, obviously that's what it took.
Yep.
So they were doing the whole back and forth. They were negotiating, and MSU did what it took to get the guy they wanted. And I think that's an encouraging sign for MSU. This guy's background is pretty awesome. I mean, he's been to a lot of different programs, a lot of awesome coaches.
Worked under Saban, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that experience will really help out in a situation that MSU is in right now. He's been all over the place. He's seen a lot. He's experienced a lot. He has a lot of good friends.
Yep.
He's known as a good recruiter.
It's exactly what this program needs.
It's more than what any of us were expecting 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh, I think
I
that's very
completely
true.
agree. Honestly, it felt like, and I said it felt like the best idea would to just be get through this year
I thought it
and then
was.
bring in the next guy. But then they went out and did this, and it's like, okay, they proved me wrong. They did better than what I thought they would at that moment. But I also thought he was out of the running. And we thought there were a lot of other names out of the running. So it was kind of one of those situations that if you weren't going to get this guy, then I think you would have been better off just waiting.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great hire.
And I
I'm
think there was
very happy with
probably
this hire.
2, 3, 4 names on that list that were like, if you can get them, great.
Yeah.
If not,
Just
leg it out.
don't go middle of the pack here.
No, because I think you and me we were talking. I think we were texting too. Like he's a phenomenal recruiter.
Yeah,
or he has been. So if I,
he's
know it's harder
he
in the
got
Big
he
Ten
got a
probably,
5-star
but-
out of Michigan
Yeah,
to go to Colorado.
Didn't you say that's what it was? Yeah. Okay.
I think it was a running back, right? Out of I'm not gonna say it,
But he's got.
but there's somebody.
Ypsilanti?
No,
You told me.
was
to.
it Ypsilanti? I don't
No,
remember.
maybe not. I can't remember.
I think he has the Ohio
He's got
area too.
Yeah,
That's what
he
I was
does.
gonna say.
very,
yeah.
very important for Michigan State. They've lost that area recently.
yeah.
So this is big. I mean,
It is big. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not going to be a quick fix. So I
Right.
mean,
No.
for Spartan fans, you still expect a rough season,
But-
because the talent is not there.
I think what it does though is this year, they've already started the rebuild right now. They've already sent that message to the entire university, to the program right now. They've already done it. They've gotten it out of the way. So if they had a year with transition and then going forward, it would have been really 2 or 3 years before this program starts to find an identity. At least they started this process earlier.
Yep.
Immediately.
So now it's closer to 2 years than the 3.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting, and I think the coolest thing about this hire is he was adamant about his assistant coaches and how much they should be getting paid. So I'm going to try to skim through my notes here and pick out what I wanted. But I mean, basically, he forced Michigan State to rip open that Velcro wallet. You know that noise that when they had those.
cheap.
I wish I still had it. Exactly. We'll blow the dust off it. He has a $6 million pool for his assistant coaches. That is top 10 in the country.
Whoa, really?
Yes. Again, I probably just misspoke because I'm not actually reading what I wrote down. But
Pay attention.
yeah, it's up there. So that is very exciting. It's $1 million more than they were giving Dantonio for his assistants.
I
And the
think it's
$6 million.
ninth.
All right, so here it is.
I
Yes.
think it's 9th nationally.
Yeah, I think you're right. Good pick up there. Thanks for looking that up. $6 million pool. That's good. You're going to bring in good assistant coaches. You're going to get who you want to come in and do it. And that's exactly what he seems to be doing. So a couple names that, kind of where the money's getting spent. Defensive line coach Ron Burton is going to stay at MSU under, holy smokes, Mel Tucker. Thank you.
I thought that was like his. When you looked at me, I thought that was like his nickname, and I'm like, "Is his nickname Holy Smokes?" Because that's sweet.
That's his new one.
It's like a Jim Leyland thing.
Yeah, right.
Jimmy
Smoke 'em
Smokes,
if
yeah.
you got 'em.
Jimmy Smokes.
All right, so also some names that are worth bringing up. Mike Tressel will stay in East Lansing as well. He was the defensive coordinator last year. He hasn't been named defensive coordinator. I think it's kind of like a linebackers coach. It hasn't been given an exact title. I feel like they're kind of waiting, seeing if they can get somebody else to come in and be that defensive coordinator. If they can't find someone, it's Mike Tressel's job then. That's just my speculation, just kind of what I'm reading into.
It could be.
I could be wrong. We'll see. They hired offensive coordinator Jay Johnson. He was with Colorado, or he was with Mel Tucker at Colorado. He was a quarterbacks coach, I believe. He's going to be the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for MSU. And Harlan Barnett was kind of the big one. He worked under Dantonio for a few years. I think during the Rose Bowl era when they won the Rose Bowl a few years back.
The no-fly zone.
Exactly. He
Yeah,
was
that
part
was
of
him.
that. He's coming back as the defensive backs coach. So that's exciting. He left MSU in 2018 to become Florida State's defensive coordinator. He's coming back. Very good hire. That's exciting.
He's a good coach.
Another one that I thought was worth bringing up, and it's kind of a boring one, but Ross Ells. I was reading up on this guy. He's a special teams coordinator. He's been a Power 5 defensive coordinator and does an excellent job with special teams, is what Mel Tucker said. his attention to detail is outstanding, and he's a great teacher. He also develops great relationships with his players, which makes him a great recruiter as well. His experience will definitely help our staff. I think that's massive in this situation because you're bringing in a lot of guys from Colorado that were lower-level assistant coaches that don't have a lot of experience. So I think bringing in Harlan Barnett and Ross Ells helps that aspect of it a ton. They're going to help. They're not even going to be teaching the players. They're going to be, mentoring the younger coaches and be like, this is how you do it. This is how you recruit. And it's going to be, it just seems to be he seems to be putting a good staff together, in my opinion. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying that these guys are the next big names that they're going to be leaving for head coaching jobs. I don't know anything about them other than what I'm reading, but it seems like he's getting who he wants.
He's having some success.
Exactly.
And at this time of year,
it's big.
It's big, yeah, because you just don't expect it.
Yeah, and you hope that these guys are who he wanted, and he's not going, to the second, third tier because of the situation he's been put in. I assume that these are who he wanted, and he's bringing them in. He's going to overpay them, which is great. I think it's perfect for Michigan State. I think this is exactly what they needed. And then they have William Perglek as the running back coach. That came out yesterday. So if that doesn't get you 6 to midnight, I don't know what else will. So
I'm unfamiliar.
You don't know who your running backs coach is? Come on, Kyle. No, I know it's kind of boring to talk about, but basically what we wanted to bring up was this: it seems to be coming together, and that is.
And he got some money to spend.
He's holding Michigan State's feet to the fire and be like, "Hey, I'm only going to come here if you're going to put up money.
Support me.
You're going to support me. You're going to support the guys that I bring in, and make this a program that." Michigan State can be. So good for them. I'm excited. I hope they're successful. I hope that we have two of the best, 2 top 10 football teams in the state of Michigan in a couple years. That's what I'd like to see. So, so some other stuff that's worth bringing up. I don't want to get into a ton, but there is a little more Dantonio fallout that happened. I guess some pictures came out that's kind of putting, Dantonio's statements to shame. Basically, he said Curtis Blackwell was not on a certain recruiting trip, and they have picture proof that he was when he wasn't supposed to be.
Well, he wasn't in the home.
Yeah, he wasn't in the home. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's violation. It's a violation of rules.
Is the picture of him in the home?
It is.
Okay,
it is.
I haven't seen it. So
yeah, and it's just like the rules that were broken are so minimal. I think I said that before. I don't care about the rules. It's the cover up that looks bad.
It is.
Well, it's a sworn testimony, right?
Yeah, and on top, exactly.
Those are charges could be brought against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he perjured himself, then right.
Yeah, so it's just, it just looks bad, and it's unfortunate that that's what's happening with Dantonio, but I feel like it's just going to continue to snowball. It'll be really interesting to see what happens.
I think it gets worse before it gets better.
Yes, yep, which is too bad.
Because he deserves. Know if it's why he left, but
I'm right there with you. I go back and forth on that.
Yeah, I don't buy that's the reason he left. I think it had more to do with the university and the relationship and them going behind his back.
The behind the back thing. Yep.
Yeah. For sure. So, again, it's just reports. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows the truth at this point. It's just stuff that's worth talking about because it is still important to Michigan State. It's important to the state of Michigan. Michigan fans will have a good laugh about it, and Michigan State fans will just shrug it off. That's really all you can do at this point. And until we learn more and true statements are coming out, you never really know. But it'll be something that we bring up from time to time. I don't want to harp on it a whole lot because it's really not a big deal other than the cover up if it turns into anything.